Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about vaginal discharge. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for so long now, and actually I was researching for a little bit. I'll tell you guys why later in this video, but I was researching about discharge and panty liners and things like that, and I recently posted a picture over on my Instagram story. I posted there a story of reusable panty liners, and ever since I've been getting tons and tons of questions about what panty liners are, why they're used, and things like that. So, to break it down to you, vaginal discharge essentially are the fluids that come out of your cervix. Your cervix is inside of your vagina, and they bring out certain fluids that help with the cleansing of the vagina, lubricating it, and all of that stuff. Essentially, your vagina cleans itself and lubricates itself, which in turn help with the health of your vagina. These fluids aren't really dirty, or they're not really they're not gross or dirty. It's just how the vagina works. I wish someone had told me that women get vaginal discharge, or what I was getting on a daily basis was discharge. I was actually thinking that I was dirty and I wasn't cleaning my vagina properly, and that was not true. Actually, all women have discharge, and depending on how your body works, you may have discharge every single day, you may not every single day, but I get it every single day. And the vaginal discharge is really, really important because it helps to know how your vagina is doing, what's going on down there. People back in the day used to track their periods based on how the discharge was coming out. So, for example, if you have really runny, watery, white fluid, then it means you just finished your period. You're still in the first few days of the menstrual cycle. And then when the discharge is a little bit more creamy and egg white-ish, that means that you're probably ovulating, and this is when it's best to have sex because it's easier to get pregnant. And this is how back in the day people used to try to get pregnant. Even nowadays, that's what they use to figure out when they can, try to make babies. This might not be true for every single person, and their discharge might be very, very different. The color, the smell, the feel of your discharge will be different from another woman. This is why it's really, really important to know the texture, the feel, the color, and the smell of the discharge, so that you can know when something goes wrong. So every single day, stick your finger down there, touch it, smell it, and look at it. And I know it might seem really, really gross, and you might be a little squeamish, but honestly, if you're not going to do this, nobody can, and it can prevent so many different diseases. I can't believe that people in India are not talking about vaginal diseases. There are so many diseases like TSS and vaginomyces. I might be saying that wrong, but there are so many others that don't necessarily relate to sex or sexual diseases as such. So this can just be you can be a virgin and still have these diseases. So it's really important to look at these things and look for signs that your vagina is trying to tell you. So that being said, how do you manage it? A lot of women that I know in my personal life actually don't even control it as such. They just wear panties and they're good to go. But for me, I feel like it's a little bit, I don't know, it feels really icky. It doesn't feel like I'm clean down there when I'm not wearing a panty liner. So essentially what a panty liner is, it makes sure that it absorbs this discharge. You wear it like a pad. It looks like a tiny little pad. It looks probably this big. It's probably this big, and it's very, very thin. You won't even feel it. It's very comfortable to wear. It has an adhesive at the back. You stick it on the panty and you're good to go for the rest of the day. And then when you're done, you dispose it, throw it in the dustbin, whatever. Very, very similar to a period pad. You would dispose it, use it, be done with it. But there is an issue with this. A lot of women use disposable panty liners, including myself. I was using it for about 3 years. I wish someone had told me there was something called the reusable panty liner, because I have been using panty liners every single day for the last 3 years, and imagine the amount of plastic I've been using, the amount of waste I've been creating. I cannot believe it, and I am so grateful and I'm so happy that I finally got to know about reusable panty liners. So the panty liners, the problem with plastic panty liners and how I got to know about the reusable panty liners was I was actually I was feeling really uncomfortable. In college, I stayed for a very long time. There's a lot of walking, there's a lot of, sometimes I dance, and when I'm doing all of this stuff, it actually moves. And there have been times where the panty liner actually, when it's like this, it's normal, it's fine. But when you're walking around and when you're jumping, anything that has a lot of movement, the panty liner literally like folds in itself. And sometimes the adhesive has actually gotten stuck to my vagina itself. It is so painful, and I have been trying to, figure it out. I have also had times where the panty liner will literally slip off of the panties, and I have to adjust it, and it's really really annoying. And the adhesive is it's really, I don't know, it's annoying sometimes, and you cannot wear it for more than like say 6 hours, which is why I was looking into different other options. The reason I wear a panty liner is not only to catch or not only to absorb discharge, but also in case I get my period. Because I have PCOS, if you don't know, I have PCOS. Because I have PCOS, it's really hard for me to gauge when I might get my period, and I have irregular periods. And so having a calendar, tracking down my cycle doesn't really work for me. So when I have something on my panties without actually getting my panties soiled, I know when my period starts. And then it helps also with the spotting, and it absorbs a lot of the liquid, so it's really absorbent, so you don't have to worry when you get your period. And when you're actually bleeding, you can just later change it to a cloth, into a actual pad, which you use for your periods. So this is why I was using a panty liner. Then when I was searching into other options, I came across reusable panty liners, and my life has changed. The first option and the most popular one that I have seen in India is the Eco Femme Panty Liner, which looks like this. It looks like this. It's really really small. It looks very much like your typical panty liner, and as you can see, it's very very typical. It has a similar size. It's very very lightweight, and you can see that this has clasps on either side of it. So what you would do is, if this is your panties, you would just wrap it around and then clip it. It was really really cheap. You get this in a pack of 3, and I think it was about $300, but I'm not really sure. I'll leave the link and how much it was for in the description down below. So the pros of using it is that you don't have any waste, and honestly, it is so gratifying to see your dustbin inside your bathroom and not have any waste and have to do that extra step of throwing it out. And also, you are not using plastic, which is awesome, because I was doing all of this research, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of menstrual products that are plastic, that are being thrown out and that are just disposable. When you look at it, you can actually use this for about a year if you keep it in good shape. And just imagine the amount of panty liners I could have saved, or amount of money I could have saved by buying this for the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that's why I got that, and it's so much more comfortable. It stays on. A lot of people were actually talking about how it slips and slides, and how sometimes when the panty liner itself is over here, like on the panty, and when you're moving around, it goes up and down. For me, I've never really experienced that, because I'm a thick girl and the thighs are enough for me to hold it in place. So I've never really noticed that big of difference, and my panty is actually pretty wide that it clips on pretty snug. So I've not had that issue, and it's super super soft. Super soft. I've never had an issue of it unclasping or folding. As long as I keep it straight and flat, and I've secured it properly, I'm good to go, and it feels so soft. It comes in different colors also, which is kind of fun. What I actually do is I put it on before I go to college, and When I come back from college, I remove it and I wash it in detergent and water, detergent and cold water, especially if you have period blood spotting, then cold water is always the best option. Wash it with some detergent, this thing, and then detergent and water, and then throw it in the washing machine, and you're good to go. You know, you do have that extra step of washing it, but honestly, it's not that it doesn't consume that much time, and it's so gratifying to see that you're doing something good for the society, for yourself, and for the future. So I would highly recommend that you get it. I don't think I will ever go back into using normal panty liners after using the cloth panty liners, because they are so much more comfortable, and it just feels so much better. And beyond the fact that it is eco-friendly, it's zero waste, it does feel so much better, and I just love that. So I really hope that you guys found this video helpful, and let me know in the comments if you will be making the change, what you do for managing your discharge, and let's educate ourselves in the comments down below. And if I made any mistake in this video and maybe I said something wrong, then feel free to comment down below and correct me. And yeah, I hope that you guys found this video informative. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on all of my socials, because I post there almost all the time. I've been blogging quite a bit. I've been active on Instagram forever. So go check me out there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.